Welcome to Sib Spot. Today's Reddit stories again are from Am I the A-Hole? Story 1 is by Aggravating Scene 428. Am I the a-hole for outing my brother-in-law to his in-laws and kids? My parents live with me because I bought their house when they were going to lose it. They were going to lose it because of all the money they spent keeping my brother out of jail and keeping him in rehab. My brother is clean and sober now, married with kids, religious, with a father-in-law that gave him a great job. He has never paid my parents back 1 cent. I live in the basement suite with my girlfriend and my dog. I make good money and my parents deserve to have a good life. They did what they thought was best. My brother had us all over to his house for a barbecue. It was a good meal and his kids are all right for being his offspring. He then proceeded to mock me for still living at home, smoking weed and playing video games while living in sin. I told him to shut up and leave me out of whatever was going on. He said that he just knew I could be doing so much better if I applied myself and looked for guidance. I thanked him for the meal and my girlfriend and I went to leave. He yelled that he was just telling me what I needed to hear to motivate me. I got upset and said that I was motivated. I said that I liked to smoke weed and to drink, but that I paid for it myself with money I earned from a job. I never stole from our parents to pay for drugs. I said that I lived in the basement of a house I own because I couldn't afford 2 houses, one for me and one for our parents, and that since they went into debt to pay for his lawyers and rehab, I was subsidizing his life. I said that my college fund went up his nose. I may be bitter. We left. I guess his wife, who knew everything, had never told her parents. My parents understand why I blew my top, but think I should have kept it in until it was only family there. I'm going to let the comments handle this one. Down in the comments by SnooRobot1438. I think it was nice of you to refresh your brother's memory since he basically insisted on you doing so. His past would have stayed there if he hadn't decided to call you out for taking care of the mess he made. Seriously, what did he possibly expect to gain by needling you? Not the a-hole. And underneath that by From Helly. And sometimes you do have to react in the moment, between the anger and the resentment, and you know if you don't react, the person will do it again. How sad OP's bro has to talk him down in order to make himself feel like a man. And what BS has he fed his in-laws to feel a need to degrade his siblings like this? It's not like OP failed to try biting his tongue and leaving. He did try that. His brother persisted and demanded a response. Fair's fair in love and war, and family get-togethers where somebody's going after you like that, I guess. Our next story is by Fun Government 148. Isn't that an oxymoron? OP, fun, and government? Am I the a-hole for throwing my friend's girlfriend out of my house? I'm a 35 female and have been friends with Alex and Adam, who are 35 male twins, since our moms were pregnant with us. Literally grew up together, including them being only 3 days older than I am. Alex got engaged several months ago and the wedding is the weekend before Halloween. I love his fiancée, Kelly, who's 30. She's a beautiful human. Adam started dating a girl a few weeks ago, Jordan, who's 28. Jordan is the definition of spoiled brat. Only child who has never been told no and quite obnoxious about daddy's money. Alex and Kelly have their wedding planned already and are just waiting for the day to arrive. Ever since Jordan came into the picture, she's been trying to insert herself into the wedding. I'm currently 6 months pregnant with my 3rd and final kid. My other 2 littles will be ring bearers and my husband and I are both in the wedding party. Jordan has apparently pulled Kelly aside more than a few times asking to replace me as a bridesmaid so I don't ruin the aesthetic of the wedding. Kelly declines every time because we're basically family at this point. Kelly has told me each time she's done this and spoken with both Alex and Adam. Alex, as her fiancé, has taken her side, but Adam is trying to stay neutral at best, avoidant at worst. My husband and I had both couples over last night for a chill dinner. Jordan, immediately upon seeing me, said I looked like a beached whale. So 6 months pregnant, not exactly small, but I'm a size 6 when not pregnant. I was livid. I told her at some point my belly would go away, but she was stuck with her ugly personality and kicked her out of my house. Kelly, Alex, and my husband all think I was well within my right to throw her out, even if what I said wasn't exactly nice. Jordan did some more name-calling and yelling before dragging Adam by the arm out of the house. I told him he could stay if he wanted, and she called me a boyfriend-stealing B-word. Doesn't make sense, but okay. Today Adam texted me saying I took a low blow and needed to apologize for being an a-hole to Jordan. I don't feel like apologizing, but I am curious. Was I out of line? No way, and you know you're not out of line in this. She said something terrible to you. I don't know why she has so much resentment for you. Like, you just must be a much better person than her. You look like a beached whale. What, you're kicking me out of your house? You're a terrible person. Yuck. Down in the comments by Goth Penguin, calling you a beach whale wasn't a low blow. Her demanding she replace you wasn't a low blow. There's an a-hole here and an apology owed, but you are not the a-hole and don't owe her anything. And underneath that by Rando Collision. Rando Collision. Is that supposed to be like Lando Calrissian or whatever his name is from Star Wars? I think that's his name. I may be pronouncing it wrong. You know how it is. Adam wants to stay neutral, but he's gotta get laid. I think somewhere down the line, Adam is going to realize what a horrible person Jordan is, and Jordan will be single, and Adam will wake up and be like, what was I thinking? But that's just speculation at this point. Our last story today is by Significance, Many, 1470. Am I the a-hole for telling my in-laws it was on them to explain to their guests why there weren't any places for them at my wedding reception? I think the title has all the information. I married my husband last weekend after about a year of planning. The ceremony went off perfectly, even with kids in the church. The formal photos weren't delayed. No one got drunk and wrecked anything. No one insisted on bringing their emotional support goat. The only hitch was that my in-laws invited about 10 extra people without telling us. Not relatives or anything, just friends of theirs we did not invite since we don't know them. I did not notice them at the ceremony, and it wasn't until the reception that there were issues. There was no seating for them. Our best man and groomsmen found a folding table and chairs for them to sit at. There was food, we went with a buffet, but since we sent the tables to eat by number and they didn't have a number, they were sent last after everything had been picked over. My in-laws were embarrassed that their friends were being treated that way. I, very politely, asked them what they expected when they invited people without telling the people planning and paying for the wedding. They said we needed to go apologize for their treatment. I said I would, but I was also explained that they had not actually been invited. If they wanted their guests told anything else, then they had to go explain. They are upset with me. My husband has my back 100%. I think I could have been more gracious, but I also think it should not have fallen on us to deal with it. Your in-laws are insane. You don't just invite people to a wedding. Imagine if every single person that you invited to the wedding invited 10 guests. That would be a cluster blank waiting to happen. You do not chain invite anybody. If you're invited, it's just you. If you and a +1 are invited, you get to come with one other person. You do not get to just invite 10 other people and to be like, why weren't they fed? Why weren't they taken care of? That being said, it sounds like you had a beautiful wedding. Nothing other than that went wrong. It's just unfortunate that you have this one overshadowing bad thing that happened because of your in-laws. And make sure they know that. They nearly ruined your day because of this, because you felt some sort of guilt over not feeding people that weren't invited to the wedding. The sense of entitlement from that is insane, and they want an apology. You tell them, you caused this, you invited people we didn't invite. They weren't invited. They don't get a seat and they don't get fed. Our stories for today have come to a close. Until we meet again, have an invited